A mapping error has been plaguing two Utah County neighborhoods for several years.
Yeah, sick of deliveries going to the wrong place miles away, residents decided it's time to get Gephardt, and Matt has been investigating. Matt?
Good evening. Yeah, nowadays delivery companies rely on GPS apps to get them where they need to go, but what seems like it should be a simple mistake to fix has meant years of lost food deliveries, lost packages, even lost news reporters.
So it says it's...
Make no mistake, my photographer and I knew the assignment.
We have no excuse.
We were on our way to meet a guy who is sick of deliveries being messed up.
They're both the exact same address.
We knew that we needed to input his address in Orem, which I swear I did.
Okay.
Yet here we are running tardy to our scheduled interview because of where Google Maps led us.
We knew what we were doing, and we still did it wrong.
After about a 10-minute drive east...
Jesse?
Yeah.
I'm Matt.
Good to meet you.
Sorry we're late. You're never going to guess what happened.
I was finally face-to-face with Jesse Gross. Better late than never, which is more than Jesse can say for many of his deliveries.
They mess it up big time.
Indeed. Like a lot of cities in Utah, Jesse's is on the grid system. The house number is a number and the street is a number. Those same numbers could take you to lots of different addresses depending on what city you input.
Corresponds exactly with 750 East here on our street.
But for Jesse, even folks who are careful to press Orem are finding themselves a few miles away in Vineyard, and vice versa.
It makes us nervous because our mirrored address, our buddy down there in Vineyard, they are an Airbnb.
That fact has led to a few awkward moments.
People get sent here thinking this is the Airbnb here at our home, and they've actually walked inside our house before.
It's not just Jesse's house. His neighbors all up and down the street are having the exact same issue.
We've had a car from Carvana get delivered to our neighbor up the street here.
At best, it's a hassle. Worse, it's costing people lost packages and delivered meals. But worst, it's potentially dangerous.
You know, we've had medication here delivered to our home that was for a cancer patient in Vineyard.
How long has this been going on?
5 years.
Five years?
Yeah, ever since they built the Vineyard.
Jesse says they have reached out to everyone they can think of to try and get the issue fixed.
They acknowledge it's a problem. They know about the problem. They're just not fixing it.
Frustrated, Jesse asked me to investigate. Having accurate maps can be an important safety issue. You don't want to call 911 and have the ambulance go to the wrong place. But short of that, the government pretty much washes its hands of forcing companies to fix issues with their maps. Even though the U.S. government owns many of the satellites that our devices use for GPS, the Space Force writes, please understand that the U.S. government cannot correct mapping errors in consumer devices and apps. The government's GPS satellites are simply beacons, like lighthouses, that devices use to calculate their own latitude and longitude. The satellites do not transmit any mapping information. We found there have been a smattering of lawsuits filed against mapping companies over errors, including a suit filed this past September by a North Carolina family that says Google Maps led their father off a collapsed bridge.
What about this third one that's down there?
Back here in Utah, KSL investigative producer Sloan Schrag and I decided to test a few of those mapping apps.
It's confusing.
We found that two of the most popular, Google Maps and Apple Maps, both had the issue that's plaguing Jesse's neighborhood.
I just clicked on the Orem, and it took me to Vineyard. Yeah, I sure did.
Two identical addresses, both reading Orem, but depending on which one you click, the app would either take you to Orem or take you to Vineyard. We reached out to both Apple and Google. Neither responded, but maybe Google fixed the bug in their system because a few days after our email, we were unable to recreate the issue on Google Maps.
Where are we?
The issue that left me and so many others in the wrong part of town. The U.S. Space Force says the best way to correct mapping issues is to reach out to the company that has it wrong. Obviously, that does not always work, but with this story on KSLTV.com, I've included links on how to report those issues with several popular apps. If you got a problem you can't solve, give me a shot at it. The number 385-707-6153, or you can email me, Matt@KSL.com.